coming
Listen,
up.
you better identify with your black.
And why?
What you mean, why? Everybody else identify with your black.
I know,
Hey,
but
look at
that
that
make it
black guy.
right because everyone else doing it.
Listen, red birds identify with red birds. Blue birds identify with blue birds. Zebras identify as zebras. How you
Amazing.
go not identify what you are? Nature. You didn't get to pick this.
But in
So they
Africa,
made,
before the Arabs went there and bought the blacks from the other blacks, blacks were treated worse in Africa by
Listen,
by
listen, hey,
other
listen,
blacks.
listen. I thank God for slavery because I wouldn't want to be an African. I don't give a damn about Africa.
What
I
you
don't
mean?
attach myself to Africa. I'm a proud American.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
slavery was a good thing. I'm so proud of slavery because it built some tenacious people.
Yeah.
I never had an identity. That's why I played so many different roles. That's why when I started out in elementary, I played the flute. I played the flute like Little Boy Blue. Then when I was introduced to saw the movie Colors, I wanted to play gangbanger. When I saw a movie Pimp, I wanted to play Pimp because I didn't have an identity. I never had nobody to tie my identity to my race.
Nice.
I just always believe white is white, black is black, they against us. But nobody ever gave us an identity.
So what do you think about the blacks that are into their identity? They're into being black, their color, and they're using that as an identity. What do you think about that? They're into their blackness.
Whatever a person identify with, it don't bother me. I identify with what's right, but I relate to what's black. I don't eat white people cooking. They don't cook like me. They don't season their food like me. White people don't put grease in their hair. So
you think it's okay to be into your color, into your blackness? Is that the right way to live?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? White people into they white, Mexicans into they Mexican, Chinese into they Chinese.
But does it make it right though?
Yeah, make it right.
In what way?
What you mean? Everybody else is into theirs. Why wouldn't we be in ours? Just keep talking about why. Listen. You better identify with your black.
And why?
What you mean, why? Everybody else identify with your black.
I know, but that make it right because everyone else doing it.
Listen, red birds identify with red birds. Blue birds identify with blue birds. Zebras identify as zebras.
Amazing.
How you go not identify what you are? Nature. You didn't get to pick this.
Did you ever hate white people?
Yeah.
And do you still hate them?
For nothing. No, I didn't hate them then. It was just a thought because that's what you hear. So what happens is children mimic what they see and repeat what they hear, whether it's right or wrong. Most black people don't know racism because racism is so hidden in the fabrics of this country. You don't know it's there, but it's there.
So what do you think about this war that's going on between the blacks and the whites today? But most black people think that white people are their enemy today. What do you think about that?
They don't think that not after the Kardashian, after keeping up with the Kardashian, racism is just about to be over with.
But they use it for everything.
The mulatto, I got mulatto babies, so I don't know racism.
Do you believe racism exists?
No, not no more. Not after rap music and Michael Jordan tennis shoes and what's that yellow boy name? Stephen Curry.
Do you believe racism ever existed?
Yeah, you know it existed.
But in Africa,
so they made
in Africa, before the Arabs went there and bought the blacks from the other blacks, blacks were treated worse in Africa by other blacks.
I thank God for slavery because I don't attach myself to Africa. I'm a proud American.
Yeah.
So I don't say to my mama say all things work for the good of those who love the Lord and is called according to his will and his purpose.
Absolutely.
Slavery was a good. I'm so proud of slavery because it built some tenacious people.
Are you a Christian?
No, man, I'm a believer. I'm not no Christian because you got to read the books. And I don't want to read the doctrines. I just want to believe that God exists and that Jesus walked the earth at one point in time. No, I watched my mama. So I ain't no Christian. I just believe.
And you believe what?
that God is real and you can talk to him without the preacher and you ain't never got to read the Bible to access the Holy Spirit.
And how has that helped you?
Well, I used to didn't believe in God. Then when I tried to start believing in God, I went to Islam. And that's while I was in jail. I practiced the Islam faith. Then when I got tired of the Islam faith, I started serving the Crip God, the gangbanging God. Then once I got tired of the gangbanging God, I started serving the pimp God. Once I got tired of the pimp God, I just started serving Satan. And then I got to the point where I submitted. I had an awakening.
You said you had an awakening?
Yeah, I had an awakening. It wasn't from no bad choices. I wasn't in jail. I had a dream one day. And in this dream, I was standing on stage talking to some children. And all of my buddies who was incarcerated with me in the juvenile facility, they appeared in this dream. And we were sharing our life stories with them. And then my brother appeared. Well, I got an older brother who's serving a 99-year prison sentence for a murder he committed when he was 17. And so at the end of this dream, we all enter into these individual doors with blinding bright lights. And so I wake up out my sleep. I probably was about 23, 24 at the time, trying to find that identity that you asked about earlier. And my mother had asked me, son, you want to go to church? And I thought that was strange. I said, no. And it was like 2 weeks before Christmas. So
come back closer to your mic.
So it was like 2 weeks before Christmas, right? So I sat on the back porch and rolled me up a joint of weed and got high. And as I was getting high, I had this overwhelming fear or urge to go to church and put some money in church. So I went to this church, sat on the back row, and this preacher walked out and he looked at me. So I sit there, he began to preach about Joseph. He began to preach about Joseph in the Bible, how Joseph was sold into slavery and, how God had favor upon him and all of that. And so at the end of his sermon, he said, when I walked out of here, I got a kick in my spirit. And the Holy Spirit told me to tell you that you're a Joseph, young man. I resent males. He playing them church games because he see I'm new. He said, I just want to pray for you, young man. So when I went down to that altar, he started kind of recanting that dream to me and say that he see me standing on stage, sharing my life story with children, traveling around the country, impacting governments with my testimony. That man didn't know nothing about my story. So from that moment on, I had a spiritual awakening. And if you fast forward from that moment to now, I live and I've done everything that strange preacher man said that he saw me doing.
So do you have perfect peace within? Or do you have perfect peace that comes from God?
I don't know where it come from. Sometimes it come from common. Not perfect peace. What's perfect peace when you got a wife? Yeah, what's perfect peace when you got the kids saying, Daddy, I need this. What's perfect peace, man?
Are you married?
Perfect peace. Yeah, I'm married.
And how many children do you have?
I got 2.
Oh, okay. And what is it like being married? Are you married to a white woman?
No.
What is it like being married?
And if I feel like I'm in prison sometimes. But man, sometimes I don't want to be married. Some days I tell her I don't want to love nobody. I want to be selfish. Some days I don't want to kiss you and say I'll be back, baby. Some days I don't want you or the kids saying nothing to me. And I don't.
You tell her that?
Yeah, we feel it, don't we? As men, don't we feel it?
What does she say when you tell her that?
Oh man, I'm like granddaddy to them. She can't say nothing. No, I'm like the men before women's suffrage. No, I dictate. Yeah, I'm like the old vows. Cherish and obey.
How long you been married?
Years.
How many?
Yeah. 3.
Oh, 3 years. And so your wife is okay with you saying those things to her?
Yeah, she got to be okay. We married. It's safe for better or for worse.
Amazing.
I'm like the old. Yeah, I'm like the old man back in the day. I'm like Archie Bunker and Edith.